Road Trip is the greatest college comedy of all time, and I don't think it's close. I'm going to outline 5 reasons exactly why this is. I just rewatched Road Trip along with countless other college comedies, and this one really blew me away at how strong of a movie it is. It genuinely warmed my heart. By the time we get to the end of this list, you're going to see just exactly how Road Trip differentiates itself from virtually every other college comedy. Starting things off with reason number 1, and this really is a strong parallel between the actors and the characters that they're playing. The movie, of course, follows 4 rebellious college students who travel across the country after one of them slept with someone who wasn't their girlfriend, videotaped it, and accidentally sent it to his actual girlfriend. They're in a race against time to intercept this package, and it's really just this rebellious coming of age story, just all this freedom in going behind their parents' backs, leaving college in the middle of the semester while school is going on. That level of freedom and that first crack at just this rebellious nature and making it in the world was very much present in the lives of the actual actors. So we have Breckin Meyer, who actually already was established, but the other 3, this was really their first crack at this lifestyle. I mean, Seann William Scott, he did do American Pie the previous year, but this movie had not popped off yet, and he was not a household name. This was by far his biggest project to date. You have Paul Costanzo. This was his first movie ever. DJ Qualls, it was his second movie, but his first lead role ever. You really feel the commitment from the actors. Like, they knew how special this moment was, and they dedicated everything they had into putting on the best performances possible, contributing to the best movie possible. The overall vibe of the characters was very much true in their lives. But this doesn't stop the realness, authenticity with reason number 2 on this list, and that's that this movie doesn't give us artificially movie magic stakes. The stakes in this movie are true to what they would look like in real life. I mean, we have, of course, the big inciting incident in going across the country to intercept this package. I mean, those stakes are very real. They're borrowing DJ Qualls' character's dad's car that they're not supposed to be using, and it's like, is he going to find out about this? And then, God forbid, the car actually does break down. It's like, what are we going to do here? These are very real college problems. And then they also use the emergency credit card that they're not supposed to be using. And it's like, how are we going to hide this from dad? These are all the biggest problems that would exist in these characters' lives. So often in these types of movies, like, for whatever reason, it's like somebody has to be dying. Someone's going to get expelled from college and go to jail, or it's like things are just interjected because it's like the writers, producers, executives, whoever think that things are not big enough. But this movie says it's okay to just make a grounded, realistic, real-life college movie stakes movie, and it pays off so well. Getting into number 3, and I mean, this really just ties into the authenticity as well, but it goes deeper. The dialogue is so realistic in this movie.
What the hell is that? Did you kill a cheetah?
This was the last college comedy I watched after a marathon of about 20 across a couple of weeks. There are so many just hilarious college comedies where I feel like I'm laughing every 5 minutes, which is really great, especially because I found it to be harder than ever to actually laugh at movies. This movie puts all of those to shame. Todd Phillips he has a way with dialogue, a way that just others don't, even others who are near the top of the craft as well. Everyone's dialogue in this movie is just so hilarious. It doesn't have like a ton of really huge set pieces, really huge quoted, memorable scenes, but it's just consistent from start to finish with the hilarious dialogue and character interactions. And that's really up my alley. I mean, I am a huge fan of dialogue, but it's like that movie that you watch and you just forget how funny it actually was. The dialogue in this movie is like some of the greatest I've ever seen. Speaking of Todd Phillips, though, as a filmmaker myself, he is definitely my biggest influence at the moment. I've directed 2 other feature films, Rosetta Stone and Hometown Summer. I'm making my 3rd, but it can only actually get made with your support. The movie is Pleasureless, and it follows a 20s man on the autism spectrum who hires a degenerate aspiring actor to help him with a bucket list of normal life experiences. I would think role models meets the 40-year-old virgin for the overall vibe of this movie. I can't thank everyone's support enough. Seriously, there have been several people on YouTube who have contributed and have been super generous. I've thanked everyone privately, but thank you again publicly. Seriously, that means so much, and you have been a huge help. We would never make this movie without you. To anyone who hasn't contributed and plans to, right now is the best possible time as you help us in this middle of campaign momentum swing. Most campaigns just do not get any momentum whatsoever in the middle of their campaigns. They only get it in the very beginning and very end. If you contributed right now, that would just be such an amazing boost because it would help drive the momentum forward to the end of our campaign and not put us in a situation where we're really scrambling at the end. Seriously, your support means the world to me, and I can't thank you enough for even just considering helping to make this movie possible. I'm going to be including a link to the crowdfunding campaign in the pinned comment and in the description down below. But reason number 4 on this list, just like with the dialogue where none of it was half-assed, like every single scene, serious attention to detail, making sure that we're getting a laugh every minute, every 30 seconds. There's another aspect of this movie that really gets half-assed by a lot of movies, but this was just made a high priority as well, and that's the subplots that happen within the movie. The overall journey of the 4 guys, so much fun. But we also have a ton of really fun subplots that are just as fun as the main plot. I mean, we have the girl that Breckin Meyer's character hooked up with, who goes on a road trip of her own to the University of Boston, which is a problem because she's trying to track down Breckin Meyer's girlfriend, except she goes to the University of Texas at Austin, and she gets fed this bad information by the clumsy, out of control, way too old for college classmate, Tom, who's played by Tom Green, who is way funnier than I remembered, who is watching the snake of one of the characters, and his subplot in and of itself is just super fun and super engaging. And then also we have DJ Qualls' dad, who finds out that his credit card was maxed out and that it can't be used, and then he finds out about the car, but he believes that his son got kidnapped because he's nowhere to be found and he can't hear from him anywhere. And him and his wife go on their own road trip to track down DJ Qualls. And it's like everyone is on their own road trip, their own journey. The anticipation of what's going to happen when this all comes to a head, it's just so exciting, so adventurous. Like I said, other college comedies, just comedies in general, movies in general, like the subplots, they're an afterthought. That doesn't exist here. But getting into the final reason on this list, and this is the number one way in which Road Trip differentiates itself from every other college comedy. The characters in this movie are real people. They are characters. They are not caricatures. So many of these other college comedies, you just have a host of just typical caricatures who are one note. You have the jock. He's very good at sports. He's dating the hottest girl on campus. He's a complete douchebag, and he's terrible at academics. And then you have his girlfriend who has the personality of a rock, and she's just a complete dumbass. She's a complete bitch. Her parents are super rich, and that's her. And then you have the dweeb who he's super good at academics. Everyone always runs over him. He's a virgin. He can't hold a conversation with a girl, and that's him. Everything is all one note. But in Road Trip, this just does not exist at all. You have the Sean William Scott character. If someone else made this movie, he would just be the jerk. He actually cares about his friends, and he makes sacrifices for them. He's an immature guy, but he tries his best to actually understand them at times. And you have Breckin Meyer's character, who's just always worrying. And, another movie would just make a salad of this. Every single joke would be about paranoia. He would never change. That would just be his shtick. But, he loosens up at times. He grows as a person throughout the journey. He feels guilt. He kicks it back and has fun at times. And then, of course, you have DJ Qualls' character, who would just be the dweeb in these movies. But he goes on his own journey as well, and he asserts himself when he needs to. He grows. He even gets laid at one point, and it's not like in a cartoony way, like an American Pie spinoff, where he just goes from 0 to 100, and out of the middle of nowhere, he just bangs bangs the hottest chick in the whole movie. You know, it's actually realistic the way it goes down. And all of these people are just so familiar. They remind us of the people from college. And, you know, it ties it all together to make Road Trip the greatest college comedy of all time. And I bet you're looking for more great college comedies, and I've got you covered with the 5 greatest college comedies of all time here.